Hi guys, welcome to the new tutorial regarding to Azure load balancer. So today I'm going to deploy the load balancer and then configure the load balancing rules and net rules, and also I will verify those rules as I have a backend virtual machines behind this load balancer. So let's go to Azure portal and start our lab. So I already have a resource group and like deployed two virtual machine in it, and so just find out the load balancer from the search bar, click on the load balancer, create the load balancer, and this load balancer is layer 4 load balancer, so keep this thing in mind. And right now we need to choose the load balancing resource group, then load balancer name, you can call it LB, and the region USDs. So here like there are two kind of SKUs. So basically standard is more uh, like more resources in the standard one, because if you will go with the basic, you cannot pass by the HTTPS traffic, which is on the port 443. So for that we have to use the standard one, so it will pass port 80 and 443 together. Then we need to select the tier like global or region. So I just go with the region one right here, and the type should be public because I am using over the internet. So if you have like internal setup for your company, then you can use the internal load balancer, or you can use both from the public to backend VMs and then backend VMs to internal load balancer and then backend servers. So it's like production kind of environment to save your deployments, or you can say save your servers. So I will go with next with the front end IP of the load balancer. I need to create the front end IP and name the IP PIP LB, and we can choose. I already have one IP which can be associated with this load balancer, or you can create a new one with this new one, like create new one and just add. Then go to the next step. Here is a backend pool. So I already mentioned that I have two virtual machines the same region, so I will give them backend pool like, and the virtual network will be the one I already have, and I need to add the backend VMs. So these are my backend VMs in the same region, and click add. Then go to the next. Here are like inbound rules and outbound rules and the net rules. So I will show you after the creation of load balance. So right now we just skip this part, and I will configure after the deployment. So the load balancer will not take so much time for the creation, so it takes a little like less time. So I will pause the video for 1 to 2 minutes and then run back. So our resource has been deployed. So let's go to the load balancer. So this is the overview of the load balancer, and we have a public IP which is under this settings, and we can see this is our public IP. We can use it to reach through this load balancer to backend VMs. And this is the health backend health pool. We have two virtual machines as I mentioned, and the health probe, we need to configure health probe, and we can configure for port 80 because we need to use this port. And it shows you the health of the load balancer to the backend VM, like if there is any disconnectivity it will tell us. Then the load balancing rules, so we can create rules here as I mentioned before, like I will show you. So here I will create R1, like rule 1 front end IP I have already. Then select the backend pool. So this is the backend pool which have two VMs, and the port I will choose port 80, and the port 80 also from the backend. Just keep this in mind that we cannot change this port to, some other port, because this load balancing rule must match the same rule from the backend to like the front end to the backend. Front end is the load balancer front, and the backend is the backend of the virtual machine. But if you want to change to NAT rules, then we have to create the NAT rules. But for load balancing, we have to use the same rules, and these are, you can say, to whitelist our traffic to backend VMs. And here we can choose the health probe, and this is like very important one, session persistent. So there are two options. Actually, there are three options. None is also an option for it's like 3 tuple and 2 tuple and 5 tuple hash. So none is like a 5 tuple hash. If you will choose none, the load will go both of the virtual machines like simultaneously, like 1 and 2, so it will not be overloaded. Your one machine will not be overloaded. But if you choose the client IP, then it will stick with the IP of the client of, and then if you will choose the protocol, so also stick with the protocol. So it might be like one VM with many users and the other VMs with less users. So it's like different kind of load balancing thing. So here I will just go with a none. So that is like best one for here. Here we can set the idle time out. If you have some kind of application which needs that, or like timeout value, you can set like 5 seconds, it can wait and then drop the connection. But right now I don't have any, so I will just use the 0 over here, or the minimum is like 4, I think. So we can use the keep alive message for 4 seconds or 4 minutes, and the TCP reset you can enable or you can disable. The floating IP you can use, and you cannot use, it depends on you. And here you can set up the outbound rule like SNAT, and if you want to use or not depends on your requirement of the production. So I will just go with the default settings and then click add. So it will create the load balancing rules, and then I will show you the NAT rules as well. If you want to use the NAT, then you can also whitelist those rules in your NSG of the virtual machine, or you can say NSG of NIC level or subnet level. So you need to create like inbound rule. So basically these kind of rules are for like saving from the DDoS attacks or brute force attacks. So you can create like port like if you want to create some rule, so you can go with like front end, then you can set up the backend pool, and also you can set up the IP addresses, or you can set the port like from 3389 is the RDP port, so you can set up like 3388, and the backend will be like 3389. So no one can know from the front end that you are using 3389 for the backend, because it will NAT the rules from 3388 to 3389. But right now in this lab I don't want to use that. Just make it simple for it, and I think we already done for load balancing rules. And here you need to keep one thing in mind, that this load balancer is the front end for two virtual machine which is in the backend pool of this load balancer. So these two virtual machine must whitelist uh, the port same as it is we are using in the load balancing rules. So basically we also need to use uh, some other rules if we have some other things which are running over our virtual servers. And let's try to go with the public IP of this load balancer, and I already have two servers, web servers in those virtual machines. So let me go directly and we see if the goes. So this is my server 1, and if we keep like refreshing, then one time it will go to server 2. You can see this is server 1. It's that request is going to server 1. So basically uh, both virtual machines are running, so maybe one time it will go to the server 2 and we can see the other page for that, or we can just go and open another tab and try. Sometimes it goes to the server 2 because it's not like round robin method. It's a hash based algorithm in this load balancer layer 4. So we need to keep trying for a while so the request goes to the server 2, but I think it's just going 1 right now because I don't have so many clients or so many requests coming up for the server. So it's just keep, or we can just use uh, to turn off one server. That will be better option for us. So we can just go to the virtual server 1 and then just stop that virtual server, and then the request will go to one server only. So let me turn off the server 1. So here we can just stop this server. So it's going to stop, and then we can try again. So now it's just take a break, and let me check my server 2 if it's running or not. I believe it's running. Yeah, the virtual server is running. So let's see. So here it goes to server 2, which is this web page I am using in that server. So this is how this works. From that we can directly access with this public IP of this server, but we are using the load balancer to balancing the roles. So this is one thing. And if you want to see the topology like behind this load balancer, so we just go to the insights, and you can see the overview picture of this load balancer, like how it connects from the backend, or if there is a front end, or what kind of things are attached. So we can see from this tool. So you can see here I have a public IP, front end public IP of the load balancer, and then here there are rules, and this is the backend pool. So two backend VMs. So this is how this load balancer works. So basically this PIP is load balancer is over here. So this is how you can see your topology with this very powerful tool of insights. Also you can check the data path and health prop of your load balancer logs. You can see the logs as well, like how what's the going on the traffic. So this is very pretty cool thing from the monitoring perspective. And if we want to see alerts or those, then you can see my monitoring video from the uh, previous course. So I hope you guys like this tutorial, and let me show you one last thing. As we have created the load balancing rules for port 80, which is this rule, and if I will show you in my virtual machines and at NIC level, I also have the same rule. If I don't have the same rule, then it's not possible that the request will go to this backend VM. So we must need to create the same rules for standard load balancer. But if you have using basic load balancer, then you don't need to create a separate rule under this NSG. So this is like a different kind of you can say scenario from Microsoft side. So basically it's like SKU dependent. So uh, some things are different. So some people take mistake, like do mistake for standard load balancer. They don't configure the networking rule for port 80, or you can say uh, any rule under uh, this NSG. They only create rules over the load balancer. So for that we must need to create both rules. So you can see I already have a port 80 rule. For example, if I will delete this rule, then the server will be timeout. So keep this thing in mind when you are creating the standard load balancer. So I just finished my tutorial on this. So I will come with another tutorial in my next video. So till then, have a good time. Bye bye.